after 29 years on this planet, I finally figured out how to eat mangoes.
I've never had a mango before. Not a real one.
You know,
mangoes are just like corn but fruit.
Like red and yellow fruit, right? With red, yellow, and blue fruit.
I know what it is. I never had it raw. I've had like dried mango.
They taste like corn.
How does it taste like? Are you like one of those people that thinks cilantro tastes like soap?
No. No, I'm a super taster though, so I'm really sensitive to flavors. And mango to me tastes like corn.
Dried mango does taste nothing like corn, so I don't know what you're on about.
I actually think Mike is just eating corn and calling it mango. Like he's
yes,
just got it.
That's exactly what it is. We eat mango on the cob down here in the South.
My mango comes in a friendly green giant can, and it's only yellow. Just. All right, but Mike's weird taste buds aside, my whole life, my mother was like, to eat a mango, you have to slice it, and you gotta cut the outside peel off, and then you gotta eat it. Well, for years, I've been losing 30% of my gross mango that way. Like, of my total per capita mango, 30% is gone. And I came to a conclusion the other day, like, ape-braining it, because all my knives were dirty, and I didn't want to wash one. I was like, wait a minute. I could just rip the skin right off this mango like it's an orange.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Ever since I did that, I went to Costco like 4 times last week, and I've eaten probably 24 mangoes in the last week.
How do you eat that many mangoes? How big are mangoes again?
They're about the size of like 2 fists. Like
that's
if you
like
were to take mango. 2 normal size fists, like that's a mango.
I mean, 1 fist is like an apple, so it's like a double apple.
Yeah, it's like a double apple. But then, like, you gotta realize the center 30% is just a giant nut.
Okay, so it's about an apple.
Yeah, it's probably about an apple of
maybe
gross,
a big
like,
apple.
Total size. Yeah, like the big apple.
Big corn-flavored apple.
The big apple tones.
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Papa Tony, they call me the meat, you know?
Yeah. So, it's we're the We Hate Fruit podcast here with Corn Breath Mike.
That's slander. I love fruit, dude. Do you ever have an apple
Never eaten a mango in his life. No, actually, I can't eat apples. I'm allergic to them and I'll die.
Cringe.
Like, nothing quite says going into anaphylactic shock like being at your county fair eating a candied apple and just dropping dead right in front of the food.
Why am I in a podcast with 2 of the most, like, immunodeficient people I've ever met in my life?
Get fucked.
Like...
I'm sorry I don't sleep on a tetanus mattress.
The only like allergy in quotations I have is that when I eat tomatoes, raw tomatoes, I get an ulcer. That's it.
That sounds way worse than what we got.
I'm just imagining Mike here, like, scraping black mold to get his, like, daily penicillin needs. Like, these immunodeficient fools, black mold. He's just, like, licking his walls.
Joke's on you, I don't treat any illnesses I have. I just grin and bear it like a real Southern boy.
Bring me asbestos.
Need the asbestos.
Bring me the asbestos. Need to hook it into my bowels.
It is not the best asbestos.
The asbestos is the best of us.
The last.
No, that was actually a skit from. That's like one of the few skits from The Simpsons back like season 1 through 7, where Homer's like going through the ceiling of the power plant, and he's like, "Oh, it's the best padding," and he like wipes it off, and it says asbestos. He's like, "Oh no, well at least we have the best asbestos," and he like wipes it off more. And it's like not the best asbestos.
The Simpsons is funny, sometimes.
It was.
It's funny before you let a late night talk show host write your scripts.
Yeah.
I can't actually blame Jimmy Kimmel for that though. Like,
I can't blame Jimmy Kimmel for being a little bitch.
It's not Jimmy Kimmel. It's
I don't care. Jimmy Kimmel's a little
Daily
bitch.
Show for years.
Yeah, he's right.
Whoever wrote it,
but
Jimmy Kimmel's still a little bitch.
Like, I'm not saying it was bad before, or it wasn't bad before. It's definitely bad, but like it definitely got worse in the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Probably, I don't know.
Well, I haven't watched a single episode of The Simpsons in like 15 years, so I have no opinion.
That's totally fair. Like, were you watching it back when they were going to the World Cup in Spain then, or something?
No, I just watched reruns on Fox. I don't think I ever even watched a new episode on Fox, just reruns.
When's Futurama coming back for the 5th time?
Futurama actually ended, and it's one of the few times I've watched something in media that like teared me up and made me like Honestly, I would say 3 of the 4 times I've cried while watching TV has been because of Futurama.
Dude, I feel that. Futurama's so good.
Futurama was phenomenal. And then you got you got those kids coming in who are like, Rick and Morty is so much better than Futurama.
No.
Like, Rick and Morty is better written for character development and whatnot, but Futurama was definitely a more intelligent
Morty has
show.
fake character development. It just pretends to have character development. It doesn't actually have any.
I'm like in the 1% of people that doesn't like Futurama, so like y'all go off.
You don't like Futurama?
That's like the one thing normies are right about.
I think it has like maybe 4 or 5 like episodes I enjoy, and then like nothing else I care about.
Futurama's like an almost perfect show for most of its runtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Futurama's almost a perfect show.
I've seen every episode except for like the last of the new season.
The new season's
it's
okay. It's like okay. Mostly you want to hate like the first 4 seasons. Wait, how many seasons are there? Wait, was it 3? I don't remember how many there were anymore.
I like the episode where they go to the college on Mars and the chimp gets laid and dumb.
Cool.
You know what? I'm gonna completely break this off real quick so we can talk about anime. You want to hear something great? Guess what the top 10 couples of the week are?
Oh, is it from that that poll site?
Oh, that
Yeah.
cringe. I don't know.
It's anti-trending.
Is it Kaguya and Shirogane? Because it has to be.
No, actually, I'm looking at this. 7 of the top 10 spots are all from the same anime.
That happens usually when there's a harem show on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 7 of the top 10 spots are from the Villainous anime, which my wife and I love.
Haven't even looked at it. I thought for a second you were going to be like, from the new Soccer War anime, and I was going to be like, yeah, I could kind of talk about that.
Wait, how are Shirogane... No, oh, they are. They're second place. Never mind. Okay. I thought I was like,
Yeah,
they're not even
second
on
place.
here? But no, they're there. Okay.
Yeah, like, know your place, trash.
Yeah, then their place is to be second place.
It's all with
the
the same
picks.
character, too.
Well, that's because Katarina Kleiss is great. Like, there's a reason her current nickname this season is Bakarina.
I don't know what that means.
It's the entire premise is an actual NEET got put in charge of like a royal family, and she's trying to avoid dying
That's an
because she got
isekai.
transported
Never mind.
to her favorite
I'm
Otome
done.
game.
We're good.
No, she got transported to
like
an...
Yitsukai, am I right?
It's literally called My Next Life as a Villainess. We're good. We're done.
Yeah, she got teleported to an Otome game where she's the villain that she kills
We're good,
in
boys.
the Otome game.
You can feel free to avoid it. We got it. We got him. Bagged him and tagged him. Let's get out of here.
I'm glad this is the Iraq War now.
And this truly is the We Hate Anime podcast.
Gosh, so this is actually a special episode. I have gone an entire year without wanting to kill Mike and Frog.
That's not true. This is our 26th episode of the We Hate Anime podcast, which means that, okay, technically our anniversary is actually on the 1st of June, but this is technically the anniversary episode. Everybody, clap your hands. Don't actually clap your hands. Stop it. Stop it.
It'll mess with the audio. Don't do it,
Let
Frog.
let them clap their hands. Let them, like, wash our dicks. We did it, guys! We did a whole year. Consistent uploads. Never missed a day, except for that one time that I set to the wrong hour to upload. But it was done, okay? It was done.
Speaking of which, this is time to make an announcement. And it's pretty much, we're done now. We're just waiting on Frog to finish drawing a picture he promised me 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
We're actually gonna be uploading a side podcast with the main podcast. Unlike the main podcast, it's gonna be more sporadic.
Yeah, Malthus wants to do a fucking weird thing.
Yeah,
he wants to sequester all the weirdest stories into its own thing, so that he doesn't have to like cringe us to death.
Speaking of sequestered weird stories, Mike, you grew up in the South, right? And you're still in Arkansas. Did you ever like have to attend a funeral because somebody got kicked in the head by a horse in your school?
No,
sounds like a Hendrik Gex song.
That's no, that's the wrong kind of. That's Midwestern. We don't have like there are people with horses, but no one has horses here.
Okay, did you ever get kicked in the head by a slave and have to attend a funeral? Then, jeez.
Stupid.
Define slave. We're more about indentured servitude here.
All right. Well, no, I guess it is something in the Midwest because I was realizing it the other day. I just saw so many kids, like every year, at least once a year, I had to attend a funeral for somebody I didn't know at the school. And it was like, yeah, how'd they die? It's like, they got kicked in the head by a horse. Every year for 4 years, somebody got kicked in the head by a horse and killed. It's just every year, every damn year, somebody in the Midwest, in my city, gets kicked in the head by a horse and dies, and they have to have a funeral, and then Arms of an Angel has to play because nobody is creative about anything in these damn high schools.
You think they'd learn at some point not to fuck with the horse hooves?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. How many, I mean, I don't know if you remember, how many of these people were men and how many of them were women?
They were all girls. They were all horse girls.
Ooh. I have bad news for you and your innocence. They weren't kicked, like they may have been kicked in the head by a horse, but it wasn't a pure experience. Cause I gotta tell you something about girls, horses, and dogs.
That wasn't a
hoof.
hoof.
It's all true.
I actually have
it looked like a hoof, but that's just what they look like, man.
I have a story, and none of you can disprove it because apparently none of you have interacted with horses. But there was a story of a guy I knew who's, and just so you know, in Idaho,
He's
like
fucked a horse before.
Yeah.
depending on where you are in the Meridian area, like you could just drive down the street, down a central street, like a city street, and there will be a house with a huge yard and just a random horse just on the side of the highway.
Yeah,
And
I know
it's-
that feel. It's real.
The entire city of Meridian, Idaho is like that. And then the further you go back into Kuna and you get into the farmlands, everybody has a horse.
You think I don't have this experience? I live around I've lived in weird places. I can go to my
Canada. Like his part of Canada is like a weird combination of the west and east coast, and like also because it's Canada, and Canada's basically the Midwest was a country.
My great aunt, like literally in her backyard, has a neighbor that has a horse, and it's just like right there.
Wait. Okay. In her backyard, she has a neighbor.
She's
with
like
a horse?
she's like in an apartment complex, and like in the field,
Okay.
in the field like right next to it, her neighbor has a horse, or a bunch of horses actually. I fed it an apple once.
So I guess, and I can't really confirm or deny this story because I heard it secondhand from a friend. There was a family, not down the road, but like, I guess you can say down the road, but it's in the same way, like when you're saying deep south down the road, like 3 miles down the road. There was a family that had a horse, and or they had a couple of horses. They were a ranch family, and every morning before going to school, the oldest son had to like go out, feed the chickens, put hay bales in for the horses, all the like the farm crap that you have to do. And I guess he was screwing the horses. And the only reason we found out about this was because one day his dad got up early, like with him, and he didn't know. So he went to go screw the horse before going to school. And he heard his dad like call him, and the horse heard it, and the horse freaked out and clenched, and he couldn't pull out of the horse. And so apparently, like 10 seconds later, his dad walked into the barn just to see his son like standing there balls deep in one of the horses.
Horse butt.
Oh, don't worry, Dad. I'm just petting the horse from behind with my pants down.
Didn't tell you to milk the horses.
Actually, milking stallions is a thing. That's actually a thing.
Yeah, it is. You got the glove? You
Yeah.
get a... Wait, Frog, have you ever watched Malcolm in the Middle?
Not much of it, but I know a bunch about
I
it.
thought you were about to ask if we've ever jerked off a horse, and I think we all know the answer to that question.
No, there's actually a scene in that show where they accurately show how awful it is when you have like a breeding stud, because they can be too rough on the mares, and so you don't want them to mount the mares because they can both get injured from it. So what you have to do is you have to grab like horse pheromone, and you have to basically build like a hard metal or wood mount, and you have to rub horse pheromone all over this hole. And then the horse props himself up and sticks his dick in the hole, and then you got to jerk off the horse.
Nice.
So, Frog, you and me watched the first episode of Kaki-sama Loves Horse Season 2.
Known for its graphical depiction of horsecock.
I mean, yeah. And that's a good show. You've watched more than I have of the second season.
I'm caught up with the second season as it is currently, but I showed Mike the first episode yesterday. We were going to record yesterday, but we had some issues.
The issues were that my internet decided to go full psyop on me and stopped working all day.
And then you had like a power outage too, didn't you?
No, it wasn't a power outage. It's just randomly my internet has been cutting out a lot lately.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
It was just really bad yesterday.
Yeah, weird. So yeah, we had some internet troubles.
Even today, it's not super great.
It's all right. I mean, I can communicate with you guys well enough.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we had some internet troubles, but we're fine now. But yeah, so because we had some time on our hands that we had filled up for some other space, we decided to watch a couple things, and one of them was Kaguya-sama Season 2, Episode Uno. What do you think? I know you like it, but
that was it was fantastic.
Yes.
I'm really glad that I was able to give Kaguya-sama its fair shake, because as soon as this season is over, I'm gonna sit down and watch all episodes of this season just in a row. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's really funny. I think what I like is it didn't dilly dally at all. I was worried it was just kind of like oh, what happened last time, and now just kind of fucking just we're back to the shenanigans. That's really good.
I laughed more in that first episode than I did probably in half of the first season.
It's really fucking funny.
Like, that first episode of season 2 is so
that
fucking funny.
That little train segment when they're talking about like accelerated like relationships is, oh my god.
That is such a. I saw that gag out of context and I was like, okay, they turn into chains. What is this, Thomas the Tank Engine? But in context, it's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and she could just rolling by like.
I would actually probably love to watch the next season, but my wife and I we will not watch something if the other one doesn't want to watch it. So there's been a ton of shows that both of us have skipped.
Does she not like Kaguya?
Skipped. She did not like Kaguya. It was a waste of time.
Divorce.
Oh.
No, I actually love my wife, so shut the hell up.
This is dumb.
You guys have this weird cringy viewing habit of oh, you don't like this thing? I really liked it, but I guess it's bad now.
Yeah, and then I will fight for my wife's opinions just because that's how supportive of a husband I am. Even if her opinions
it has
wrong,
nothing to do with your wife's opinions.
Mike, when you get married, you will understand.
When I get married, I'm going to tell her she's a dumb bitch for being liking Kaguya.
Even if she is wrong, you have to stand by your wife.
This is a podcast that does not respect women.
Fuck women.
I absolutely respect my wife.
Moff, you are as wrong as she is at times.
I don't even care. It's fun to play the devil's advocate.
More like the devil's ass
reject. Oh,
there you go, Frog. There you go. You could have done some more like the devil's avocado.
That's a shitty joke.
That would have worked.
I'm a twig, bro.
Avocado is not a food you associate with.
Also,
fat people.
avocado is like a health food, isn't it?
You associate it with millennials like me.
But avocados are 98% fat. It's fat and fiber, so if you want to shoot a water slide of green out your ass, you absolutely can.
Fat is not as bad as the fucking sugar monopolies from the 90s convinced everyone it is.
No, it absolutely is not. But at the same time, you got to be smart about your fat consumption. Do you want to stick your hand inside the oil they use to make pork rinds? Absolutely. Should you? Probably not.
I just want to eat Ritz crackers, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, I could go for some cracklins right now.
Oh yeah,
Mike, you know cracklins, right?
Yeah, we call them pork rinds.
No, cracklins, not pork rinds, cracklins. Do you know what? It is very important to me that you know the difference between pork rinds and cracklins. Mike, do you know the difference between pork rinds and cracklins?
What is this?
Mike,
what is this weird ritual?
No, it's so pork rinds are when you just have the skin of the pork. You scrape up the pig skin, you deep fry it, bada bing, bada pork rinds. Pork cracklins are generally from the stomach of the pig. And so what you do is you cut the skin off, but you leave chunks of the stomach fat on with it. So that when you deep fry it, you have these nice little happy treat pockets where you're just nyam, 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 nyam.
That sounds awful.
That's delicious. What is wrong with you?
It's gonna make the crunchy pork rind all soggy. I don't like that.
I had pork chops the other day.
You're like the male embodiment of the woman from Misery. How do you not like pork rinds and pork cracklins?
What?
You don't even like 100 Gex.
I missed the part of Misery where she said, I sure do like pork rinds and pork cracklins are cringe. Don't you agree, writer that's hooked up to my bed?
The entire point, the only reason he got away is because she had to go into town to get pork rinds that day.
What's going on?
Did you never see Misery, Frog?
What the fuck is Misery?
It's a movie.
It's one of the two good Stephen King movies.
No, I didn't.
It's Stephen King's erotic wish that he wished would happen to him. He's
he wished one of his one of the people who read his stuff cared enough to kidnap him.
Yeah, basically. And you can think I'm kidding, but that's absolutely the premise.
It's like, hey, I kidnapped you, author of my favorite book series. Oh wow, you have the manuscript of the last book in your series? I can't wait to read it while you're recovering. Oh, you killed off the character I liked. Well, I'm gonna break your feet until you rewrite this.
Yeah,
that's the plot.
What is that anime about the pink-haired yandere?
It's like does not
Future
narrow it
Diary?
down very much.
The one where she like time travels to raw dog the guy she loves in a different universe. The pink-haired yandere chick who's like, I'm gonna jump through time and like get to the guy I love, do the world tournament thing again and murder my parents.
Back to the Future?
Please, somebody tell me you know what I'm talking about.
The world tournament arc from Back to the Future is my favorite arc.
I'm just gonna type in the word yandere.
Are you talking about Future Diary?
No, I'm not talking about Future Diary. I'm talking about yandere. If you Google yandere and not yandere, Dev, because that's
like you
garbage.
made Nikki or whatever?
Yeah, Mariah Nikki.
Yeah, that's Future Diary.
No, it's called Mariah Nikki.
No, that's Future Diary. That's what that translates to.
Yeah, it's Mariah Nikki.
It's not Mariah, it's Mirai Nikki, but shut up.
It's Mirror Nikki.
Mira Nick.
Hey, you know what? At least we're talking about anime again.
Speaking of anime, fellas,
we have questions.
Yeah. We have questions from some individuals that care enough about us.
Yep.
This is the conceit of this episode. The special flavor. This is a question episode. Now, if you
episode.
Now, if you're listening to this and you've never emailed us the question, you've never been on Twitter and asked us a little don't at me though, because I only make it mutuals that I get notifications from, because fuck randos on Twitter. But like, feel free to add a Moth or Frog and also join our fucking Discord. We have an entire channel for questions.
Or an email.
Yeah, and if you at me, there is a very good chance I'm just going to call you something horrible.
Or just
I'll just tell you to...
So if you want to contact us and you want to have your question asked or answered, links will be in the description. Please do that. It's just like interacting with you guys is what we want to do.
It's fun
because I want to laugh at you. Frog wants to love you, and Moth wants to just roll in shit.
I want to
like
see you get fit. I want to see you get more physically fit.
And I want to see you fit that
lose
fat
30
cock
pounds
into my
in 10 days, guys. With this new program, even you can...
It's literally just called a guillotine.
True.
So, I have our questions ordered by the number of questions actually asked per person.
Are we going to shuffle it, or... Oh, okay.
No, we'll just go through the list.
First up, we have from a listener and friend of the podcast. Well, actually, friend of the podcast. I don't actually know if he listens. Fuck you if you don't listen. Roos.
Oh, yeah.
Roos asks me, specifically, when am I going to force you guys to watch a tokusatsu show?
I watched Gridman.
That's not a tokusatsu show. It's an anime.
I watched Beetleborgs as a kid, and that's it.
Ah, cringe.
I like Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
Beetleborgs. Cringe. Okay. How would either of you guys, because
Nope.
I know right now 2 tokusatsu shows
Nope.
that could be watched.
I know you're going to watch, say Kamen Rider and Ultraman or something.
Nope. Well, one of them is actually a Kamen Rider, but it's more of an adult-oriented one. So there's Kamen Rider Amazons, which is on Amazon Prime. You can just watch
how convenient.
Yeah, wonderful.
Or, there's a great, it's an adult-centric tokusatsu show.
I don't want tokusatsu. I don't want an
Garo.
adult. I just want to fucking see him blow up or something. I don't know. Garo?
Well, Garo is really cool because it's basically Devil May Cry, but with people.
Oh wait,
in
no, I
suits.
watched Garo. Vanishing Line was baller.
Yeah, does it have an anime series?
Yeah, it's in the same. It's the same world. Actually, the Garo has 2 different anime series, but yeah, it's in the same world. So if you like Vanishing Line, you'll like Garo. It's that same kind of gothic, edgy Devil May Cry bullshit.
I like Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
Not that. We only play good fighting games on this podcast.
That's a good fighting game. Rollback on Steam.
So
no, I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch Toku.
I will make you both watch Tokusatsu eventually. That's just gonna happen.
Tokubatsu.
Like, I'm at the point now where, like, if I really just want to waste time, I'll just pull up something on Shudder and watch that in the background while I edit stuff.
I just watch like YouTube video essays or read a manga.
And I do all of those things, and also fantasize about killing myself.
That's cringe.
So, yeah, no, Roos, I'm not going to watch a Tokusatsu show. I don't want to get your hopes up or anything. It's just not going to happen.
He's going to watch Tokusatsu.
Crazy.
Yeah!
I just want to watch the new Gridman season.
I'll watch Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla is Tokusatsu. That counts.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Tokusatsu just means special effects and costumes.
That's every single
that literally applies
episode
to
of
everything.
any show ever.
Yeah, at that point, the Avengers is Tokusatsu.
True! Thanos is a pretty good Tokusatsu monster.
because there's no like people in like rubberized costumes in that. Like
I mean, New Godzilla doesn't have
great. Roos, the porn I watch is Tokusatsu.
based.
that exists.
Yeah. So there you go, Roos. You're welcome.
Like a rubber doll.
No, it's just a lot of latex.
All right, so next up we have
And
listener.
a lot of white-colored oatmeal.
We have listener of the show, friend of the show, and a great little YouTube maker. Let's get some questions from Itsumo.
Oh yeah. I know this man.
I'll get the first, like the one that's like just a meme out of the way. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And I have an actual answer.
The egg. No, it's physically the egg because evolution started before chickens started.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, you're close there. The actual answer is neither, because that's not how evolution works. You fucking idiot. Fuck you.
But there were
Not
eggs
fuck you, Moth, but
before
fuck
chickens
Itsumo.
existed.
Fuck you personally. They evolved alongside each other. Not one came before the other. There was no
T-Rexes
starting
turned
point.
into chickens, and T-Rexes had eggs before chickens existed, and then the egg came out, and then it had to become out of an egg before chicken was real.
What's your stance on the big three shonen from the mid 2000s?
Does this mean Naruto, Bleach,
we're
and
talking
One Piece,
about
right?
Naruto.
Yes.
Is it Bleach or would it be Dragon Ball?
Bleach.
From
The big three is Naruto, Bleach, and
2000s,
One Piece.
it would be Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
I don't
Let me see here.
have much
The big
experience
three
in any of these
shonen.
series except for One Piece, and I like One Piece. Bleach looks kind of cringe. I don't know.
Okay, it would be Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Bleach looks kind of like try hard edgy. I don't care for it. Naruto
my
was
issue
kinda
with
fun, I guess.
Bleach
I don't know.
Is every friend I had who actively would swing like a katana around in their front yard watched Bleach, which was a pretty good giveaway that I shouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
So Bleach is an interesting little series, because I mean, if you read the manga, you would see like these, like it would be like impeccable character art with no backgrounds at all. Like the artists
that's not true
did
at all.
not
One
draw
Piece was-
backgrounds.
One Piece has nothing but backgrounds.
That's kind of true.
But like
Yeah, One Piece is a ton of backgrounds.
like Taite Kubo, which was the author, the mangaka of Bleach.
Taite.
Dude could draw a fucking character. Like, all of his designs are fucking great, but he can't write to save his life. And
Oh, so it's like Soul Eater.
I mean, it's like all shonen, really.
Yeah.
He can't write to save his life, and like the background designs are so bad that it led to the anime looking really boring.
I thought I heard
don't
that the
watch
backgrounds
it.
were originally good and it just got worse over time. Because I don't know, I watched
mean,
a video about it. I think
yeah.
iPatch Wolf made a video about that a while back. I'm not sure.
It's
It's been a while
true
since I
that,
watched
like,
it, so I don't know.
It would be more accurate to say the backgrounds in the beginning of Bleach exist.
I mean, you don't have
'Cause,
to
like-
stand out that. I mean, I think backgrounds are like a thing that you have to. If you don't focus on them, then it's not a big deal. If you want to focus on character art, you can make that happen. Depends on how you draw it.
I think without a clear like depiction of where the characters exist in the space that they're in, it's really hard to like create action that flows.
It depends on like if you're focusing on world building and stuff. I think it depends on like the kind of series you want to do and how you're directing it. But
I feel like if I showed you like an example of the nothing like backgrounds, it would be even more clear of how this is like a kind of a big issue. Like there's a newer shonen manga, and I don't even fucking know what the name of it is. But this person was like, "Oh man, this shit's the best," and it's just like blank backgrounds with like close-ups of characters saying really edgy things. And I just said, "Man, that I mean, the character designs look great, but like the writing's bad. There's no backgrounds." And he's like, "All I care about is character designs," and that boils down the appeal of Bleach. If you were into Bleach. Like, you were into it because you thought the characters looked cool. And granted, the characters looked really fucking cool in Bleach.
It's an aesthetic I'm not into. It looked like hyper edgy demon shit.
It's because you're a child, baby.
I mean, even when I was younger, I didn't like it.
I did Naruto a huge disservice because I didn't watch Naruto until about 2 years ago.
I didn't watch Naruto. That's it.
No, and Naruto was really, really good. It's just Naruto and Bleach were both poison for me, and I will never go to Bleach because anything where the official anime is like, 60% filler, I'm just not going to watch.
I like that Plague of Grips video about Naruto.
Naruto is 60% filler.
Naruto's about
actually there is more filler in Naruto than there is Naruto.
Oh, that's not well in the original Naruto maybe, but not in Shippuden.
Yes, there is.
And that's because the original Naruto was, I think,
there is a 20 I don't remember if it's 20 or 24 episode arc in Naruto Shippuden that consists of exactly 2 panels from the manga.
Okay, there's a difference between mostly filler. Like, there's a difference between filler, mostly canon, stuff like that. But you're talking about, like, Dragon Ball Z, where they just slowed down to the floor.
No. Like, this is not that. They invented... spoilers for Naruto, I guess. There's a concept at the end of Naruto called... It's an ability called the Infinite Tsukiyomi. And basically, it's a big space flower that will gobble you up, and it will feed you visions of your ultimate dreams while sucking your life force out until you eventually die. And in the manga... It shows the Tsukiyomi exists, it shows that people are in pods in the Tsukiyomi, and then it cuts back to the actual Ninja War action. And in the actual anime adaptation, they instead decided to go by like character by character, showing exactly what they see in the Infinite Tsukiyomi, creating the completely like... just like the worst filler, like I would say almost worse filler than like the Bleach stuff, where like Bleach would just deadass in the middle of an arc would be like, "Oh, we caught up to the manga, quick, let's do a 10 episode filler segment," and it would be just the worst bullshit filler ever. But this is so bad because like it's literally the climax of the story that we're gonna stop it and we're gonna show you this fake world with no stakes about all the characters that are, you're gonna see them be happy, and it's like, why? This is bad. Like this is not stretching out content. This is creating content where there is none. That is filler.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the fact that you got to see some of the characters living out their fantasies, and like most of them revolve around just being best friends with Naruto.
Yeah, that's awful. Like. I hate Naruto so much.
But let's remember the fact that the ending EP of one of the Naruto songs foreshadowed what would happen in Boruto. And I got to give it credit to this day because I remember watching it. It was the EP where Naruto takes Hinata out to a date to the actual ramen shop. And she proceeds to eat like the entire ramen shop dry. And then later in Boruto, there's an entire episode trying to figure out who the champion is of eating at the ramen shop.
This just sounds like a Kaguya-sama arc.
It was perfect. It was Hinata all along.
Not good.
Are you kidding me? Hinata and Naruto had the most organic relationship of any shonen couple.
No, they didn't. They had the most inorganic relationship.
No, it was completely organic.
No, shut up.
I mean, to be fair, how many shonen couples actually exist?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I will apologize right now, Mike. I forgot about Vegeta and Bulma.
Oh, fuck you. I am the most, like, in it when it comes to Naruto. I know everything about it.
Yeah,
Naruto didn't even know Hinata existed until the end of Shippuden in the pain fight when she defends him from pain, and then he said like, I guess she's okay. But at that point, he wasn't. Naruto does not become interested in Hinata until Naruto the movie The Last, which
Are you kidding me? Did you not watch the Road to Shippuden or the Road to Boruto like arc they did that was like 25 episodes long and focused entirely on them getting to know each other better? Am I smoking crack here? The entire ending arc of Shippuden had nothing to do with but them like hooking up. Like, it is a complete organic development of character.
Wait, how can you say it's a completely organic development of character when they shoehorn it in at the end? What?
Because it had been happening over the course of Naruto.
No, it has. No, Hinata had a crush on Naruto, like a completely empty crush too, because she didn't know jack shit about him, because she didn't work up the courage to actually talk to him. Like I don't, and I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those shitty people that think Sakura should have got with Naruto. I think Sakura's the worst. Fuck Sakura. When there's a moment in Naruto when, like, she's trying to, how can I convince Naruto to stop chasing after Sasuke? Oh, I know. I'll go up to Naruto, and I'll tell him I love him, and I've loved him all along. Let's go home and be together. Like, this bitch is like, I'm gonna get him to leave Sasuke alone by telling him I want his dick. And Naruto's like, be gone, thought! Ah! I hate her so much. I love Naruto so fucking much. Okay,
you love Naruto, but apparently you're ignoring the character development.
But I will not stand for lies, and you cannot say Hinata and Naruto had a organic relationship. The relationship is literally forced.
One Piece is okay.
Let me ask you something, Mike. In normal relationships, do you end up with the person that you were girlfriend boyfriend with when you were 14, or do you end up with the person you generally meet later in your life? I'll give you a hint. We're not boomers. It's later in life.
Usually we actually have kind of like a date or something before doing that.
So he's like 17, she's like 17. Even then, that's like high school sweetheart age, and they find each other, and then over the course of like 3 years, they decide they want to marry each other. Just because the length of the anime shoots 3 years and 25 episodes,
that makes it uninteresting, though.
Organically fall in love with each other.
But we don't see it.
The anime is not 3 years. That anime was in production for 15.
I'm talking about the last arc, you absolute mongo bongo troglodyte.
The Hinata was into Sasuke since they were children, so that poisons your own analogy because she was into the person she was into when they were a child. And look what
happens when you get with your high school crush. They get you pregnant and ghost you. Oh, look at that. Organic relationships.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, see, Frog agrees. No, moving on to One Piece. Phenomenal shonen.
One Piece is pretty
amazing.
Cool.
There is a reason One Piece has been the top shonen for almost 3 decades now.
It's because it won't end.
Oh, it'll end. It has an ending.
I like One Piece.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Every single time there is gonna be an ending, they're like, we gotta find the One Piece, and then they find it, and they're like, one piece of many!
That's not at all what it is.
No, are you
No, you
dumb?
have never found anything related to the One Piece yet.
Luffy has to fight between 1 or 2 more Yonkos, and the anime's over.
Nah, I don't care about One Piece at all. I have no opinion about it. I don't like it.
I think One Piece is good.
Oh my gosh. It has one of the most organic romantic relationships in an anime.
You do not. I'm convinced you don't know what organic means.
It's when they don't have asbestos on it.
Fruit at the grocery store.
I have watched here's the thing. I've watched One Piece all the way past Alabaster.
Well, Alabaster's hot ass. You got to watch Impel Down. You got to watch Amazon Lily.
It gets better after episode 576, dude. I swear to God.
Alabaster was the first arc I was interested in, and it was bad. And that's episode close to 150.
Do you like Tokyo Ghoul?
I like the last episode of the first season.
You like Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, so there you go. That's why your opinion's garbage. No, it has the most organic, slow burn relationship I've ever seen in an anime. Watching Robin and Frankie slowly come together, and they still haven't even acknowledged it yet. But it's just been a steady incline.
I feel like I don't know what they are, but I feel like you're just saying that.
Moth's idea of an organic relationship is two people refusing to say they like each other.
No, that's
Kaguya-sama, let's go!
And that is hot ass.
Let's go!
Alright, so there you go. There's our opinion on the big three.
That show
Naruto,
slaps.
great, has some of the best ships. Bleach is hot ass. And One Piece is the best anime for a reason.
I think the best anime is Gurren, because it's the best anime.
And to wrap up...
And that actually a
Itsumo
real organic love story in it. This is pretty cool.
Itsumo has one last question for us.
This one sucks, probably. I don't remember what it is.
Itsumo asks, how do we all meet?
Discord. Next.
Yeah,
Discord. Next.
Discord, when I first met both of these two gentlemen, I didn't like them.
That's how most people think of me.
No, you didn't.
I like everybody. I'm cringe.
But I remember the first time I had a solid memory of Frog, it was whenever I had a mental breakdown over Goblin Slayer, and he was a cunt about it. And
I was just defending
Moth
the
has
Wow.
always been a bad opinion dispenser, and I didn't realize how much of it was just to churn people's eggs until way longer than I've known him. We've known each other for at least 2 years.
We're 3 at this
it's kind
point.
of weird, actually.
Oh yeah,
well,
not
maybe
quite
from Moth,
3, 'cause I
because you
wasn't
were a
active
little
on
later,
that
yeah.
Discord.
It's kind of
I
weird.
was. I think I was in the Forks Discord longer than both of y'all, actually.
Yeah, you were. Well, I was in there for a long time. I just started talking later, and then Moth started talking even later than I did, a year after I even started. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
so
known
it's,
each other for years, and these two are fine gentlemen.
Mental gin.
Allegedly. So next up,
there you go.
we
Cafe
have
Doro.
Yep, Cafe Doro. He's a nice gentleman who follows me on Twitter. He I believe listens to the podcast.
Hate that guy.
I mean, he did subscribe, and he does voice work and stuff. He's a cool guy.
Fuck you.
So the first question is a meme. Who are you people, and why am I subscribed to you? It's because you are a fool. And we will
Donate me
harness
money
as
on
much
Twitch.
money. Yeah. He then asks, "What is it like living? It's pain and agony."
You suck.
Honestly, right now it is for me because allergy season's got me wrecked.
And this next one I feel like is gonna give me brainworms. What is that one piece of media that you genuinely despise?
I don't know if I have one like that. I'm trying to think.
Could be music, could be a book, could be a TV show.
When They Cry. Or, sorry, not
Devil
When
May
They Cry.
Cry.
Elfen
Oh,
Lied.
okay, never mind.
Elfen Lied. I'm surprised, Moth.
I take issue with something that's just brutal to be brutal. I take issue, first off, with abuse of children, second with abuse of animals.
Oh,
And
I know.
Elfen Lied just it's weirdly pedophilic. It's children murdering children.
Based.
It's the brutal murdering of animals and
Nice.
the whole time I was watching this thing, I was like, wow, this is the anime in 2006 everyone told me to watch. And it's it's kind of like Cannibal Holocaust, where it's devoid of anything but shock value.
Elfen
And don't get me
died.
wrong, I like watching horror, I like watching gore, I like watching people get murdered, but when there is no content other than just to see how much you can shock me, I don't care.
So you
You
mean
like
like
Filthy Frank,
whenever
though.
those children grab the Voss and beat the dog to death? And,
Yeah, that is the worst scene by far.
Yeah, when I say it, I'm surprised that that's your option. It's not because I thought you'd like it, because if you have any modicum of taste or you're not 13, you shouldn't like Elfen Lied. When I was young, I was like, yeah, this is cool, and I used to think the fucking ending was artsy, where the clock chimes and she oh, maybe she appeared, maybe she didn't. No, fuck you. Elfen Lied is garbage. But that's not what I despise. To get me to really hate something, it is a challenge. Even things I say I hate and I shit on, I can find things to like about them. Even One Piece. There are things I like about One Piece.
A sentence of a bookworm.
No, a sentence of the bookworm is your thing.
It's I don't know enough about that to hate it
I'm
as
trying
much
to
as I
keep
do.
it topical for our anime, because if I wanted to go off topic, I would say something like, yeah, I really don't like Cannibal Holocaust. I think Chud was a waste of a time as a movie. I got things I could go on about all day. I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a pretty good piece of media and holds historic value for being a budget horror film, but I don't think it's actually good. I mean, you want a list? I can go on a list of things I genuinely despise.
See, this is what I meant whenever I knew you were gonna like give me brainworms.
Which one?
I was expecting Trump.
Bruh.
I was expecting you to actually say something you genuinely like filled you with dread, and it was going to be like something I'd be like, oh yeah, that thing
piece
that's
of
not
media,
that bad.
though.
Yeah, he said piece of media. And so Elfin lied for sure. That's definitely, if we're talking anime, that's probably the one that aggravates me the most. Followed then by Neon Genesis Evangelion. And not even really that, just Shinji as a character.
Cringe.
Because I've been watching it, and Shinji is so... he's so not even a human being. It's not even funny.
That's like the last thing that makes sense. You can say a lot of things about Shinji.
That's like leave it to Moth to find like the worst way to describe Shinji, like the most
He's
like
not
human
even a
character.
human. He has no human emotions. He doesn't.
That's
act
all
like
he is
any
human
way.
emotions. That's his entirety.
Hey son, I need you to get into this really cool robot and go destroy stuff in it.
Moth, do you
Okay.
realize how traumatizing it would be to actually have your father, who doesn't love you, order you to get into a robot, and if you didn't, the world would end? Like, fuck, man.
Dude, I get to pilot a giant robot.
Jesus Christ, you're the main character in a Gundam series, then Shinji's just
I'm
a
the
real
main
boy.
character in a Trigger anime made before 2012.
Huh? Has Trigger missed once, other than Frank's, which doesn't exist?
Yeah, they missed
Shut up,
with
shut up, no, don't talk.
stars.
Wait, what?
Missed with B-stars. Okay, anyway, something I genuinely despise. And I'm going to stick with anime too, because if I didn't, I would have to think on it for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I had to hold the anime.
So I genuinely fucking, and this is going to sound weird considering how much I've talked about it in a positive light, and I think Frog will get with me on this a little bit. I genuinely fucking despise the first season of Attack on Titan and everything it's about.
Yeah, that makes sense, because
Kinda.
that's why I won't watch season
I
2
don't
and 3.
despise it.
Season 1 has, like, it has
It's really bad.
nothing of value in it.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's really bad, but
Like, it's just characters that are introduced to die in the same episode. It has, like, okay, the first maybe 2 episodes or so are pretty good, actually. Like, everything up until once they, like, graduate the training school is pretty alright. But then, like, everything with the female Titan is just kind of,
yeah, it's
I
all
mean, it exists.
completely toilet.
It exists to introduce shifters as well, not even to introduce shifters, because Aaron at that point is a shifter.
Yeah,
It's just not good.
it's not good. I agree with you.
It's not
And
good.
then, like,
I think
season
it's
2
got value to it, though.
It has value in so much that season 2 and season 3 exist.
I think it has value, just and
Yeah.
it sets things up. It just really poorly. That's all.
Like,
So, what about you then, Frog? Is there something that you hate?
Tower of God.
based.
That like honestly, this is the most Zoomer take I've ever heard from Frog.
No,
It's
I'm a
like,
millennial,
it is the
so you can't say that.
newest,
How is
It is
how is
the
that a Zoomer
newest
take?
thing.
Zoomers are all over that shit.
Because you have like the short attention span of like the most immediate thing you didn't like is what you hate the most
What?
on the planet.
No, like Tower of God, as it's gone on, I've developed like a deep seated hatred for it, and how
I
it's
genuinely
completely
enjoy
adverse
Tower
to
of
world
God.
building.
And I love that. I get exactly what I need from it, and I just get to enjoy a character.
I too like
drama.
to just
Like,
ignore
it's great.
Character drama,
writing.
he says.
Character drama. Oh yeah, can you tell me the motivation for the main character again?
Yeah, the motivation of the main character is he's a baby back little girl who wants to see his hot friend again.
Yeah, man. Enveloping my moods.
Based.
Yeah, no. I hate Tower of
No,
God, but no,
it's-
for real answer, Dark Souls 2.
That's fair.
Dark Souls 2
That's
is
absolutely
a piece
fair.
of dog-ass cack. I still like it, but I also despise it to my very core. You know what I mean?
Dark Souls 2 is like an 8 in the series of
No,
10s.
no, I completely disagree. I think
Which
it's
is
actually like a
weird
4 out of
because-
10. I still like it.
I like Dark Souls 2 probably more than the other 3.
That's... Wait, first of all, I don't understand what that sentence meant. Second of all, no.
But then again, I think Demon's Souls is still superior to everything else. But
I mean, that's a fair enough opinion. That's a valid opinion.
Demon's Souls is alright. I think it's fine. Dark Souls 1, Here's the thing: Dark Souls 1, the first half of Dark Souls 1 is 10 out of 10. It's perfect. Dark Souls 3 is a consistent 9 out of 10 the whole way through. Bloodborne is like same.
No, Bloodborne's
Bloodborne is a 3 out of 10 until you beat the second boss.
Fuck you. Bloodborne is the...
It is a
Bloodborne
3 out of
makes
10
me
until
come
you
as
beat
soon
the
as I
second
hit the
boss.
start button.
And then Dark Souls 2 is like 4 out of 10 for most of it, and then 5 at bits. And then Sekiro's a 9 out of 10.
I think the DLC of Dark Souls 2 is pretty great.
I wouldn't say a piece of media that I despise, but I really wish people would get off Junji Ito's dick.
I don't think most people would even do that, though.
Like, Spiral is pretty good, and then his short stories are completely hit and miss.
People don't even talk about Junji Ito that much.
Moth, go fuck yourself. I'm like, hey, Mirai Nikki. I'm like, Future Diary? You're like, no. Mirai Nikki. And over here, you're calling it Spiral when the actual name of it's Uzumaki. I hate you. I hate your guts.
Uzumaki is the last name of the main character from Naruto.
Yes, do you know what Uzumaki means? Trick question,
it means that little
Spiral.
thing they put in the Naruto ramen.
Did they say Uzumaki in Gurren, or did they say something else?
No, the fish cakes in ramen are called Naruto. His name is Spiral
Uzumaki.
Fish Cake. I hate the fact that I said that out loud.
So
That's
Naruto means fish cake, and Spiral is Naruto.
Naruto Fish Cake Man. That's a shitty main character. Why don't they call it something cool?
Okay. This is a perfect transition, guys. The Cafe Doro then asks one thing you like about each other and one thing you don't. I'll start. Muff, I love the fact that you have like these completely out of left field opinions that keep me on my toes. And at the same time, I fucking hate anytime you open your mouth. Please stop.
Okay, and what about Frog? What do you like and hate about Frog?
I think Frog is a handsome man, and he has too low of self-esteem. He's really talented, but I also think that he's a kind of pretentious sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You nailed it.
I'm gonna start with what I dislike and then move on to what I like.
Yeah, negatives.
Frog, I'm gonna hit you first.
Yeah,
right, Frog?
give me the fucking 1-2.
I don't this isn't so much you specifically as it is like what you represent, but like I remember being a kid. I remember being a kid and being like, man, how did grown-ups get out of touch? Like, when did my dad stop listening to good music? And then Frog's here. Frog is almost a decade younger than me.
Getting there.
And Frog is like, hey, Moth, listen to this music. And he sends it to me, and the music is pretty much the sound of like 20 colanders being thrown down a flight of stairs while a child gets beat with a frying pan in a corner.
I'm like 2 years younger than you, and I like 100 gex. Go away.
Shit's good.
But it's just like, it's the medic droid for Zoomers.
I listened to that song, and that song sounded like nothing like them. It sounded like ass, to be honest.
No, because you could actually hear the lyrics, and it wasn't, I raw dogged you!
No, it's cringe because they were just being like really bad mixing on shit.
Moth lacks the ability to look at things like critically and like analyze their actual like things that are good.
I mean, not to mention the lyrics were also.
So, are you going to tell me that 100 gex is satire? It's a parody?
It somewhat is actually. It has some kind of. There's a weird irony to the fact that it's kind of so dirty and noisy, but also it's really appealing noise to some people like me.
It's noisy, dirty, and overproduced. Therefore, satire.
I think that what I was trying to say with Frog is there's such a disconnect between him and I that there are times where I literally am just like, I cannot handle you right now. What you are saying to me, what you think is funny, what you are telling me is funny right now, how you argue with me makes zero sense to me. And I realize that there is a million people just like you on Twitter who jump into this happy little hive mind, and it scares the ever-living daylights out of me.
Ronaldinho Sacer!
That's my favorite.
Me and you, man. So here's the weird thing. Like I'm a millennial. I'm just barely younger. I'm about to turn 27. But every single time I don't think I understand Frog, I try to, and then suddenly I get it.
It's just that easy, folks.
I hated the Ronaldinho Sacer memes, and then I
kept
just
retweeting
downloaded the green stream. I downloaded the green stream and made one, and as soon as I made one, I got it. It's just a Rickroll. That's all it is.
Yes.
If you repeat the joke enough, it's funny. Like, I hate that mindset. That's but the one thing I like about Frog is at Frog's age, I would say he has more artistic talents than I did because he put forth the effort. Like, he actually put forth real effort, whereas I just dicked around until I was like 27. Was like, oh crap, I'm not artistically inclined to do anything. So
never too late, boys.
And honestly, like Frog is picking up at a young age, so it'll be more relevant for him. He'll have a better skill set than me. So he's definitely the more artistically inclined one in the group. No, not at all. I resent what you represent. I don't necessarily represent you.
I absolutely love how Moth both loves and hates that you're young.
Young love.
I'm trying to highlight the positive of his youth, and then like just completely rail the negative about it.
Dude, if it wasn't for me, this podcast would have no viewers because it'd be like lost in your sea of fucking old wisdom. Like, oh, back in my day, we didn't have ramen noodles. We had provolone and sausage.
Be the Broken Hip podcast.
We had asbestos.
Yeah, we had asbestos in our provolone, and we just kind of sprinkled that on pizza for flavor.
Mike, I will give Mike's patience credit. Mike has a lot of patience. And the fact that he has yet to block me,
unfortunately, I'm going to ask you to repeat that because I didn't hear it.
You have a lot of patience.
He is a doctor.
I do.
Yes. The one thing I don't like about Mike is he convinced me to get on Twitter and then proceeded to fill my timeline with the one thing I didn't want.
Hey, I did not convince you to get on Twitter. I was like, hey man, you should probably get on Twitter because it would be good. And you're like, no. And then one day you just made a Twitter and barely told us about it.
That is kind of true.
And
I like your Twitter. It's a good Twitter.
Thank you.
You mean Mike's Twitter or my Twitter?
That's what I like about Moth. I like his Twitter. Perfect segue, boys.
So, okay.
Mike, I'm joking. Oh, it's my turn now? I gotta think about this now. Shit. Alright,
Jesus Christ, you had like 10 minutes to think about this.
I'm
literally stalled for
I'm a little ADHD spurg. Don't look at me, okay? Okay, actually, Moth, I actually like his sense of humor when he's not being an edgy piece of shit.
What do you mean? That was like the most backhanded compliment I've ever received.
Exactly. Now you have both sides of the same coin. Now we got both of them already figured out. Next I can go with Mike.
I love Moth's sense of humor when he's not being an edgy piece. Just like backhand right there. Like,
well, there you go.
Moth is the only person I know that can make a joke about Jewish people and it not be completely anti-Semitic.
What does that even mean? What is happening?
Frog knows what that means.
I don't even understand what's going on anymore.
Join the Discord, everybody. It's a good time.
Ironically, I think Mike, not Mike. Well, I'm messing up my words now. I think Mott's a lot of fun to talk to. Even though, and I think my negative is he can be a bit quick to kind of jump onto things that might be a little bit rash. But other than that, I think he's fun, and I like his sense of humor a lot. And Mike, I think you're very cool. That's it. All right, we're moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
Real quick, while we're talking about Twitter, I'm going to take us on a tangent. I think I found the Twitter group that I like more than any other Twitter group. Because you guys are like, oh, I get an anime Twitter, and it got overrun by, like, K-pop
we said to stay away from
sucks.
anime Twitter.
Yeah, but anime Twitter's awful.
But I'm not allowed to be in, like, black Twitter, because apparently that blood transfusion I got when I was 13 doesn't make me black enough for black Twitter. So I found, like, horror Twitter.
Horror Twitter, yeah, OnlyFans section.
Horror Twitter's pretty good.
Twitter. Yeah, where it's just, like, artists drawing, like, the most horrible gore, like, murder art they can find.
That's good shit. I will say, just because we're on a, like, the Twitter tangent here, anime Twitter's the fucking worst.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So bad.
Like, I just happen to defend, Plague of Gripes is a really good artist and YouTuber. He made a video about how Naruto's ass, because Naruto is ass.
Oh, that video.
And I happened to make a fucking tweet in defense of it, and like who's a really obnoxious anime YouTuber, and all of his little cronies just completely tried to like fucking just be assholes. And like they're calling out like jokes and being like, "Look at this joke. You mean to tell me that when he asks what are cum clones made out of, that's not serious analysis?" I fucking hated it. It was the fucking worst experience I've had with Twitter, and I've had panic attacks over interactions on Twitter. Fuck.
I don't like Twitter.
So, what do you not like about me, Frog?
Yeah, Frog, come on, Frog.
I was trying to think of something
you're the
I
most
don't
passive
like.
aggressive Zoomer.
I can say what I do like. I
Unless
think
you're
Mike is really
canceling someone,
fun to
can't
talk
be
to.
mean
He's
to
really
them.
good at carrying a conversation.
Yeah,
I can just talk. I can sit in a call with Mike. Sometimes at the podcast we just sit in a call together and just like for an hour or two we'll just shoot the shit. And it's a lot of fun.
Dude, a lot of the times it ends up being like an hour or 4.
Yeah, sometimes. And this like I think maybe sometimes you're a bit too quick to judge something. Like you'll jump on something and then maybe if you give it more like time in the oven, you'll be like, oh okay, maybe not, or maybe I don't like this after all, or vice versa or whatever. And I feel like sometimes you go like kind of shoot your shot too early. That's my thing.
I tend to like all opinions I express are always in development. They're subject to change.
And that's not even a bad thing. I just get annoyed.
Oh yeah, I mean you are wrong about the designs in your favorite fighting game, but that's besides the point.
I mean, you're like make the buttons red, like
just make the buttons gold. It would be better.
It's not. That's like a bad change anyway.
So, like Frog said, I'm perfect.
So, Doc Blue has some questions as well.
Yes.
And I got a feeling I'm going to end up on a terrorist
Cock Blue,
watch
more like
list
it.
after
Fuck
I
this
answer
guy.
these
Am I right,
questions.
That's right. Following up is one of our more recent listeners.
Hate this
and
guy.
Personal friend of mine. That's Doc Blue of the Human Zoo.
More like Doc Poo.
And the very first question he wants to ask is, what are your stances on the military? Take it away, Moth.
Well, the best thing about this is I actually have a friend lined up for my podcast where we're going to talk about our individual experiences in the military, because I made it a year and like a half in before they realized they couldn't put me in a job and just asked me if I wanted to leave. Whereas he actually saw deployments. So it's a vastly different experience. Overall, I think the military is kind of a lot like police, where you put a bunch of people who can't aspire to do a whole lot. And this is like the enlisted, which I was. You have a bunch of people who can't really aspire to do a lot, may not be the brightest tools in the shed, and then you give them an authority complex and a gun and expect that to end up like not bad. Like, that's a terrible idea.
Based.
And I was military police. I was with a bunch of people. Most of the people in my group had to get a waiver from the military because they couldn't score the minimum 33 on their ASVAB for their job. Oh. To let you know how dumb my AFSC was, you had people who were doing pest management when their entire job was to go on a ladder and hit a bird's nest with a stick, who had to score a higher ASVAB score than the guy with the machine gun.
The U.S. military is a mistake.
I just... Like, and I'm not saying this, like, I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to say, like, when I was in it, it was just this happy little melting pot of mental illness and bullets.
And from one man trying to not be political to one man who is consumed by the politic, I have a take on the military. Because,
it's cringe.
Fun fact, everybody, I am a base not centrist. Fuck, that's Muff. He's a base centrist. I'm a
will
base
not talk
leftist.
Politics on this podcast. So now that Mike said that, I believe in ethnostates. I believe in death marches, ethnostates, and why are there still Native Americans? Somebody tell me.
I just want to know, to be honest. I don't really have a problem.
Muff went back in time to
I thought
inject
Andrew
the pox
Jackson
into the
took care of
blankets.
them. What's going on, guys?
No, Andrew Jackson took care of his black slaves by putting his sweet, sweet dicking in them.
So, yeah, all right, now that we completely avoided that. Frog, what's your opinion on the military?
So I think that the military, I believe in a limited political state because a big government is inherently not immoral, that's not the right word, but they tend to exercise their powers in ways that don't benefit the people. I'm a populist, leftist. I believe that the military...
Why did we answer this question?
I think the military should be... the funny thing is, I've already told Doc Blue about this, so, like, I don't know why he obviously asked it so that I could make it known to the world. I think that we should, this is some Alex Jones shit, we should completely and utterly dissolve the military into individual state National Guard systems, to which can be unified under a limited government in a time of crisis.
Statist.
That is way too much thinking. Honestly, I kind of wish they weren't given their signing bonuses like right away when they went out on their first trip, because then they buy a bunch of Yeezys and strip clubs, and it's just not
The Yeezys are totally worth it. They go back into the economy, dude. It's like a direct input.
$300 on Yeezys, $2,000 at a strip club the first weekend they're let off base. Every time.
So Frog, what do you think about the military? I know you Canadians pretty much have your Mounties, and they're like, they're basically like lawless spies.
We just don't like violence, man. That's about it.
Fucking losers. One of these days we're gonna take you over, and we're gonna be a united America, but not today,
God,
you fucking hoser.
Fucking would actually kill myself.
Frog just our Guilfoyle.
Huh?
Anyway, moving on to the next question. Do you think Kim Jong Un is dead? No. And I'm the conspiracy theorist in the group, and I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead. I like the memes, though. I like the one where he's like, his hanging corpse is going like, doo, 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 doo.
The Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
I think either A, Kim Jong Un was always totally alive, and he used this as like a scheme to kill people just because he wanted to kill people he thought didn't trust him or didn't like him.
Thought Moffats was a very fucking conspiracy, man.
B, he's actually been cloned or resurrected. Or C,
body double.
They actually found like a peasant that looked vaguely like him and have replaced him with that peasant who has been brainwashed to believe he is a great leader.
So here's the thing. I don't trust America's media at all. And so they were just hungry for a story. And so it's like, hey, we haven't heard from Kim Jong Un in a while, and the coronavirus is going on. He must be dead.
I mean,
that's actually what I think happened.
That's actively not what happened. North Korea announced that Kim Jong Un was in a vegetative state after a failed operation.
Okay, yeah, and so the media took it, ran with it, and said he's dead. He's fine. Like,
well, no, he wasn't seen for like 2 months.
The doctors are too incompetent to kill him.
There was no like notes about him. In fact, the only thing that came out was he's in a vegetative state, and then like a week later, there was the China or Japan announced that Japanese doctors are being shipped there expeditedly to like help and bring him out of the vegetative state. Like all the news, like and like that's like. I don't know why you'd be like, I don't trust the American media. Now tell me, North Korea, what happened? Like, that's like the most biased, like awful dictatorship you can like listen to.
I just don't. I actually think I trust Korea to be more honest with me than I trust Fox News or CNN. So,
Moth, I need you to understand how dumb that is. In North Korea,
it's
they teach kids that the hamburger was invented by Kim Jong Un.
And for all we know, it could
Burger
have been.
time.
All right. So the next question that Doc Blue asks, and that is Doc Blue of the Human Zoo, what's the most morally questionable thing you've ever done?
I don't want to answer this.
I can't even. I don't know. I try to stay pretty on the straight side.
Yeah, because you're fucking straight, you fucking loser. Suck a dick, you fucking loser.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay. I don't know.
So
I haven't done that much. I remember as a kid I felt really bad because I wrote like I think I wrote in pencil on the side of like a portable classroom once.
What'd you write? Like
I don't even remember. No, it was nothing. It was not even a swear word. It was just like my name or like a tic-tac-toe game or something.
Poo poo penis.
It might have been poop.
So
I may have been indirectly responsible for someone killing themselves.
Nice. Based. Been there, done that. Bought a t-shirt. Killed myself over it. Oh
I'm glad
God,
people think I'm joking.
I actually have a lot of fucked up shit that I don't talk about and I try and repress.
All right, well then keep it repressed because I actually have a real story.
So basically, like this one time, I was in a relationship with this girl, and it was long distance, and it was a fine relationship. I didn't have any issues with it, but I started becoming depressed at the time, and this was just like This was like when I was 18, and I had my antidepressants for like 6 months, and it was during the time I was homeless. So like as I was coming out of that, like not on antidepressants, my brain started going back to the depressive state, and I just dead ass cheated on her, like with someone in real life, like not online, not like I was having 2 online relationships at once. And
oh dude, that's all you did? Like when I was a furry, I probably had like 7 online relationships going on at any given point in time.
Wow.
Wait, did you just say when you were a furry?
Yeah. What?
I'm just laughing.
What?
I'm laughing at the fact that you were a furry. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
You're either a furry or you're not a furry. So Moth's a furry. That's the worst thing he's ever done.
I got better. I was cured.
I got better. I fucked the horse and realized I didn't like it.
Damn.
No, so you cheated on her.
Yeah, I regret that.
Okay.
Imagine having regrets, bro. I jerked off in a fucking library.
I told the story of how I jerked off in the middle
funeral.
of class, so I think like that's probably on the list of morally questionable things. But like I'm just trying to think about things I actually regret, and that nut I don't regret.
Yeah, so same, dude. Same, dude.
Jacked off at a funeral. We've been over
Oh
this.
yeah, masturbatory tales.
Morally questionable. Not something I regret, but morally questionable. I told a girl that if she converted to Mormonism, I'd marry her. And she converted, got baptized, and then, like, got into the point where she's like, I actually really like it here. Being Mormon's fine. And then I dumped her.
Being Mormon is fine,
Being
actually.
Mormon's fine, actually.
No! I don't want to be Mormon! No! No! Oh, wait. Being Mormon's fine, actually.
Frog are on the same
I don't care
fucking
anymore.
level today. Holy shit.
Sorry.
Speaking of being on the same level, hey Frog, what's your biggest fear?
Oh yeah, it wasn't like directly targeted at me.
Yes.
I haven't
Doc
thought about that.
only wants to know what your fear is.
I have a couple weird fears. If you want to talk about like abstract fears, I'm really afraid of the open ocean.
Why?
Why not?
Get your dick sucked.
Huh? The open ocean is like the most terrifying thing because one, we don't know anything about the ocean. Basically, it's like such an undiscovered place. It's really fascinating.
It's made of water and
it's
salt.
also terrifying. Not to mention open water with nothing around, no islands or boats in sight. You're isolated and you have no way of escaping. You can't swim that fast, and also you can't see very well below you. That's just a terrifying concept.
But you realize the vast majority of stuff that doesn't want to kill you doesn't live on the top 20 meters of the ocean, so you're fine.
Do you understand the concept of being in the middle of the ocean anyway? I will drown eventually because I will not be able to swim for that long.
Just float, bro. You don't even have to
Then I will
use your
starve
body.
float, bro.
or there's no way I can escape death, and it's also terrifying because I know someone can rise up and just like take a chomp out of me at any moment's notice.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
That's an abstract fear.
You're paranoid.
A more like realistic but also very unrealistic fear is this is like a weird thing since I was a kid. I remember back in like 4th grade or something when we had like sex ed textbooks for the first time. I'm not sure if they do it like later in like America. I know the sex ed's all fucked over there, but in 4th grade or whatever we had sex ed. And so it was like a diagram of like a penis or whatever in like a notebook, and my friends would all be like making fun of how like, oh, dude, I'm gonna cut this guy's dick off with the scissors. Like, he's like using scissors in the notebook and shit. And that traumatized me, and it still does to this day.
What is wrong with you?
I don't, because the idea of cutting my dick off with a pair of scissors is actually terrifying.
I gotta show
It's
you
one of
something
those-
called the German Pain
I don't want
Olympics.
to think about that, to be honest. It's something about incision that has to do with it. It's like removed and fucks me up. And how swift it is.
I cannot wait until the day where I live close to you, Frog, and I can just chase you around with scissors.
Please actually don't. I will actually kick you out of my house.
Yeah, I'm the scissor man. I'm coming for your penis.
Actually, like, hate that. I actually like frequently on like a multi times a week basis. I will think about that and just like actually like convulse. I'm not even joking.
What do you do, Frog? Don't play the clock tower games.
I know.
Yeah, don't play the clock tower.
That's not what I mean. It really has to do with specifically that. Anyway.
Only when it's
Trapdoor
about your
spiders.
penis.
Legit, yeah, no, I don't care about like arm or something.
Trapdoor spiders.
I mean, I was actually gonna follow because Doc Blue actually only asked what frog spears are.
I don't care.
I was gonna
I'm more
follow it up
interesting.
though, Moth, and ask what yours were. So just trapdoor spiders.
Trapdoor spiders, which sucks because that is one of the coolest animals in the animal kingdom. But when I was a little kid, have I told the Sim Ant story?
The Samant story?
Sim Ant.
No.
Like the game by Maxis, the ant colony simulator game from like 1993.
I know about it, but I've never played it.
Okay, so Sim Ant, amazing game, phenomenal game, baller game.
It's the reason
right?
you like ants.
Probably.
Yo, Ants
actually.
is a good movie.
Anyway, the game has everything a little kid could want, including gruesome death animations. If you die,
Sim Ant?
And most of them are pretty cool.
Yeah,
Sim
I know
Ant.
this one.
Like,
I think you talked about this before, actually.
Yeah, like, so, like, yeah, I have talked about this before. How do you not remember this, Mike?
Because I don't have a good memory because of childhood trauma.
All right, but long story short, I'm now afraid of ants, or I'm afraid of trapdoor spiders, which sucks because I think trapdoor spiders are like the coolest hunters on the planet. Like, hands down, they are some of the coolest predatory species. It's like, nope, I can't look at spiders because I get scared.
I thought you were gonna say like you're afraid of them because of eight-legged freaks. They made me.
No, I love that movie actually.
That movie made me afraid of spiders when I was little. I'm not afraid of them anymore, but like that's the reason I was afraid of spiders.
Harry Potter spiders are fucking scary too.
Those things are like, yeah.
So I have a lot of fears. I'm afraid of commitment, of being alone.
Cringe. Get to the good stuff.
I'm terrified of dolls. I'm terrified of clowns.
Dolls, I understand. My grandma has like a whole like room full of dolls, and I would every time I woke up in their place, I would like walk through the living room and they like see the little eyes peering at me in like the morning light. Oh my god, fuck that.
So my mom and my sister are evil. My mom used to collect porcelain dolls.
Fuck that.
And one day she got a new one and gave it to my sister. And this porcelain doll was special. It had batteries and it would like move and talk. But,
Dude, are you afraid of dolls too?
Yeah.
Yeah, dolls are horrifying.
So my sister just because I didn't know about this doll, but we had shared a room, so she put it in the room one night, and we watched like it was probably like Ghost Adventures or one of those shows, and there was like an episode about dolls, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Then I went to bed, and then I woke up to like the sound of a girl giggling, and I look over, and there's that doll slowly turns its head in my direction and like it started fucking moving, and I screamed so fucking loud I woke up like the entire fucking trailer, including the dog who used to sleep with me. Rest in peace, buddy. You were the best among us. And my mother and my sister just laughed and traumatized me.
Ow,
yeah.
Damn it.
I'm also afraid of falling, but not heights. Wow. Not afraid of heights, just falling.
I'm not afraid of heights,
why?
but I get that weird thing when I'm on a bridge of like staring into the void.
You get dude, if you think about it this way, like you're on Mother Earth right now, and if you fall off a cliff, you literally get to smash Mother Earth.
Based.
Hell yeah.
No, like on a bridge or something, you know that push you get? You're like, you should jump.
Yeah, there's actually a word for that.
Yeah, it's like staring into the void or something.
Yeah, it's something. It's something void. But yeah.
Or macabre or something. I don't know.
Then I also because I was sexually assaulted when I was a child.
I fear a penis.
Well, for the longest time, yes, I was afraid of penis. That's one of the two reasons why it took me so long to realize I like penis.
Imagine.
But I actually am now incredibly easy to startle from behind. Like if I don't know you're there and you say anything or move behind me, I'll jump or scream.
I used to be scared of emotions, and that's a weird way to. I don't want to get like all personal or whatever.
No, it's because you're a Zoomer. It's fine.
No, man. I mean it was because specifically of an incident in high school, but whatever. I don't want to get into it right now.
Moth is literally afraid of emotions. He doesn't know what they are. They scare him.
I'm not even sure what you're talking about. I tell my wife I love her every day.
I mean,
what? Moth is afraid of emotions. I literally do emotions.
what's the next question?
The next question is one of the things that you miss from your childhood that isn't the same for today. And I'm going to give the most boomer answer. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob. SpongeBob. I like old SpongeBob. That's all.
Okay, Mike.
No one's going to argue with me there.
So I have three different answers. Like I miss going to video game stores because it used to be
that was
so
fun.
fucking cool.
Because you didn't know what was at the store because you had no way of knowing what was coming out. So you're like, is the new game come out today?
Yeah. I remember going to the fucking video game store and it was a rinky-dink one and they would just have they didn't like have like trailers or anything, so they would just hook up systems and then like have the menu like just repeat the opening cutscene over and over.
Dude, that was like the thing where that's where you found like really obscure games that no one like heard of because like some stores would just have them lying around. It's hard to find them anymore.
Oh, dude. All the weird, obscure RPGs I played, dude.
Dude,
Arts and Elko.
Because you know it's weird when you see like YouTube videos later on of things you saw in the store. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, Alundra 2 is such a fucking awesome PS1 game, and no one knows about it except for that one time I found a YouTube video about it that reminded me of it.
Yeah.
And like, I used to like take like when we were younger, we didn't have a memory card, so we would literally like get together, like me and my two friends, and we would start it, and we would say we're not going to sleep until we fucking finish this, and we would always get because I think it had lives too, so you get fucked over because you couldn't save it, and we'd always get to this part where you have to like get chased by a bull until you reach a boulder, and then you have to run away from the boulder. And it was such a fucking piece of shit. I love that game. So there's that. Then there is, and this is a weird one, because this drink came back, but there used to be an energy drink soda combo called Volt.
Oh yeah, it actually made a comeback like 3 years ago.
It did, but it wasn't the same. Like, the old one had enough caffeine in it to make you vibrate through solid matter. Like,
oh yeah, they've definitely reduced it a lot.
I used to, so I would go to the game store every single Saturday, and then from there I would walk across like busy intersections to get to the Books A Million, which is another thing I miss. But like, it's basically Barnes and Nobles, but it was called Books A Million, and that's where they would play Yu-Gi-Oh. And I would always stop by the convenience store on the way and get a fucking jolt and just be like shaking the entire time so that the cars couldn't hit me because my atoms would just fit through the car's atoms. It was so based in
Yeah,
red
I know
pill.
exactly what he's talking about. Yeah.
And while talking, I forgot what the third thing is. So go ahead, Muff.
Honestly, for me, it's just I kind of miss 2004 to 2009 internet. I hate to be that gatekeeping dickhead.
No, you don't.
Honestly, Facebook coming in the rise at 2009, allowing people who normally would never use the internet outside school projects to suddenly be like, hey guys, I like the thing. And they could give their opinions now. I used to love arguing with people online all day until it got filled with like the Susans and the Nancys who had nothing better to do in their life but do that. And so now I have these like wine moms, these empty, bitter people all day long arguing, and it's no longer fun to argue
you get to make
with
fun
people
of
because
them.
they're all so angry.
Yeah, it's really fun to make fun of people now. Because people are all anonymous now. Like, I don't have to care about them as human beings. I can just make fun of them.
It's the communities. The communities are so large. You no longer have these happy little pocket communities.
That's not true.
I'm actually debating just disappearing.
It's actually the best part of Twitter. Like, I've created my own little pocket community. It's great.
I don't like. All right, whatever.
I think it's none of those. You just haven't looked in the right spots. Like Discord is a breeding ground for private communities. I've made a ton of them.
So much so that there's like hundreds of just servers dedicated to grooming children.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty based.
Exactly.
So we have
been
one more
4
question.
times in the last 2 days.
I'll groom you right now, baby.
Thanks. My hair's been really bad lately.
I mean, I used to get groomed all the time on Gaia Online. I've talked
Several
about this
times.
time and time again.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I remember... Oh, fuck. Don't remind me of ERPing. I don't want to think about ERPing.
That has something to do with my
That's what
emotional
Gaia
trauma.
Online makes me think of. I mean, yes. Oh, God. That just reminds me. I used to, like... I have a new Facebook account, but on my old one, like, I used to, like... follow porn accounts and I would ERP with them on like public Facebook.
Wow.
I think about that every now and again and I cringe so hard because it was not good ERP. It was
What was the question again?
The new question it's the last question we got from Doc Blue Human Zoo. If you could go back, and this is such a dumb question. Fuck you, Doc. If you could go back to the age of 8 with all your memories, would you? Clarification, the butterfly effect does happen. I don't know why he was high when he made this problem.
I mean, I like hypotheticals like this. I think it's hard to decide because I could do things better. But how much better?
If I could go back...
But I think I'd also have to work hard again, you know?
That's the thing, you wouldn't have to work as hard anymore, because you would already have, like, all that memory.
But I have to do school.
Yeah, but think about how much better at school you would be.
But I don't want that again.
If for what it's worth, I actually would not want to go back.
I would do things better. I would, like, probably avoid, Well, I think it's like I don't know as much as I'd like to think I know, right? Like, things could have gone worse if I did it again. Or maybe, like, details that slipped past my mind made it even worse for me. You know, I think it's too much of a risk. Why not just let it... I mean, let what's the term? Like, let the something lie? Let the something...
Let sleeping dog lie?
Yeah, that's the one. It's like, it's already happened. Let's chill. I mean, my whole thing is just like, look to the future and stuff.
I am a human being that is constructed out of regrets and wasted potential. Like 100%. Like when I was 8 years old, if I had known, hey, if you actually applied yourself whenever you're in gym class, you would actually like lose weight and you would feel better about yourself. If I had known that when I was 8 and not that fat, I would then, like, and then I think back to whenever I was 13 and Mom was like, you can either join band or you can join football, but you can't do both. And my dumb ass is like, I want to learn how to play an instrument. Meanwhile, my brain doesn't hold on to, like images all that well, so I couldn't learn how to read the fucking lyrics. But if I had known that when I could have made that decision, I would have went into football. Like, my life could be completely different. And if I had all the memories I had now, like, all the cringe bits just be gone. I could redo all the shitty moments of my life and just be like, hey, that time you asked your friend out and then they never talked to you again? No, that never happened. Now they're the potential friend. Like, all that weird political posting you did on Facebook, gone now. Now you can do left-leaning political posting, which is less cringe and more based. Like, my life sucks. I hate my fucking life. I would take that red pill in a second. Like, not even think about it. And then I'd contact both of you and be like, hey, we're going to do a podcast. It's going to be about anime. And Frog would go goo goo gaga, I'm a baby. And Moth would be like, go away, kid, I'm fucking bitches. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I'm farting.
No, I'd probably jump on board with it, but you have to realize I am much more open to learning than I was a few years ago.
Shock.
So you're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming.
I mean, how old would I have been at that time? I mean, where's the time frame in which you said this?
Well, I'm 27 now.
Yeah.
And I'd probably contact you when I got out of high school, which would be 18. So it'd be 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So I'd be 11.
Yeah, you'd be Goo Goo Gaga.
That's not that Goo Goo Gaga. Although I didn't watch anime back then, so you got a shitty guess.
I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you this thing and you're going to like it. And you're going to be like, Goo Goo Gaga, la ha ha, French.
I don't want
Canadian.
you to take the pill anymore. That would ruin my life.
And I'd be like, hey, watch this thing. It's called Gurren Lagann. And your eyes would widen and your balls would expand.
Happened. That was my other friend in high school. That is not your cross to bear.
11 ain't high school. I'll be that friend, baby.
No. I needed to see it the time I did. The time I saw it was perfect. That's why it's my favorite.
I actually think we're at a good point, though. You guys got anything else you want to say?
Are there any more questions? Are we done?
Yeah,
no, that was it. That was the last question.
That's the last of the questions,
Dang,
man. If you want to hear your questions answered in a less, because this is a special episode, you know, this is like we wanted to do something.
This was the autistic breakdown episode.
We wanted to get to know each other more. I mean, we've known each other for years, but we wanted to like let y'all know who we are. I'm English Mike, and I like penis and vagina.
Just pick a side, fence sitter.
Yeah, seriously. I decided to drop the bi flag, and I am completely heteronorm now.
Cringe, dude.
He went bi fag.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at, to be honest, on the sextrum right now. I'm just kind of like.
Hey, once I make my way up north, we're gonna find some discoveries, boy.
Bruh.
And now I'm going to be a character witness.
And with that, this has been the We Hate Anime podcast. Please join us next time. We have a whole nother year coming up. It's gonna be special. It's gonna be great.
Actually,
we're gonna make mistakes.
Only sign me up for 365 days.
Shut the fuck up. That's fucking.
Next episode is Mike's or Frog's last episode.
Jesus,
replacing me.
We're discussing. We're not doing this on recording right now. We're doing this later. Okay, we have things to talk about. You're not.
I mean, I'm just like want to make sure I'm getting paid.
Yeah, like you realize you're not exactly being very helpful here, Mike.
Moth, shut the fuck up. You think just because you're a trust fund kid, you can fucking have your opinions and just say whatever the fuck you want, but you can't. Check your fucking privilege at the fucking door. This is. Oh wait, are we still fucking recording?